Okay. Well, this is recorded.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, as you know, another week flew by just like that. It was as if I saw you or we saw each other last week, as if it was only yesterday, right? And this is how time is, right? Because in the sense that if we tend to slacken off, tend to try to relax in our daily activities, you will be regretful on the day of judgment. Right? All of us, as long as we're still breathing, every single deed, every single asking for forgiveness, everything is so precious that you do need to understand that there's no time to relax in this life. Agreed? Right? Because sooner or later, there's another important event that is coming, which is the first 10 days of Zulhijjah, the best 10 days of the year. Right? So we do need to know what's happening. Inshallah, I'll go to read next time when it comes nearer. But it is important. Do you understand about the first 10 days of Zulhijjah?
Is it when you slaughter the goats? And
But it's not just that day. It's 10 days, 10 full days,
yeah.
in which the deeds are more beloved to Allah than even jihad. Any of these that we do, smiling to a brother, helping a brother, do mu'adhkar, is more beloved to Allah than even jihad. You and I know, brothers, that all of us need Allah's love. In order to get Allah's love, we need to do many things in order to gain His love, and inshallah, with that, we gain His mercy for all of us to enter Jannah. Alright, so it is important that we put all effort in order for all of us, inshallah, to be able to gain Allah's love and Allah's mercy. Yeah. Now, today's topic is about the last 3 verses of Surah Al Baqarah, requested by Akram and agreed by everybody last week. We're going to discuss about these verses, important verses in the Quran. Yeah. Now, before we go through that, let's go through a little bit about Surah Al Baqarah. The longest surah in the Quran. How many verses? 286. Right? Where was it revealed? Mecca, Medina. Medina, because a lot of rules and regulations. There, as you know, the Quran was revealed in how many years? 23 years. First 13 years was in Mecca, and the last 10 years was in Medina. Right? In Mecca, as you know, and this is what all of us must understand, especially for people who are just trying to build up their deen, right? The first thing that was revealed in Mecca was Tawheed. Tawheed and more Tawheed. Understanding Tawheed is so important that many of us may be slipping into shirk if we are careless in our thinking, right? Even if, so for example, when we don't say Alhamdulillah, because perhaps you are achieving something, it is one of the signs of shirk that we must avoid, because then we think that it is us who make things happen. Yeah. So this is important that we completely understand Tawheed before we move forward to improve ourselves in the rest of the deen, because not understanding Tawheed, as I said, would lead us to make many mistakes that can potentially lead to shirk, just by saying good luck, or by saying luckily these things have happened, or fortunately, and all these are elements of shirk if you're not careful.
Even if you say stuff like touch wood and stuff like
Of course, yes, fingers crossed is worse, right? Fingers crossed, right? So again, you may see some of, sorry, yeah, you may hear some of your Muslim brothers and sisters are saying this. It is completely out of line with what we have been informed in the Quran and authentic Hadith. Yes. No, I don't. No, but somehow or other you will know what it means. Because
It's saying wish you well like a form of that as well.
Sorry?
Wish you well. Because yesterday I said good luck to my friend, and I remembered, okay, Tariq, and I said wish you well.
It's okay. Yeah, but is it Muslim or non-Muslim?
It's not Muslim.
Yeah. So I always even say, may God make things easy for you. I always say, thank God to my non-Muslim clients and all this, right? And it's very important, right? That even to put in elements like, well, if God's will, I'm going to come, and all these elements must be mentioned not just to the Muslims but to the non-Muslims, so that they know where we stand. Yeah, and to do da'wah, inshallah. Yeah, so it's very important that we improve ourselves in terms of Tawheed. So the first 13 long years was about Tawheed, so much so that everybody in those days knew Tawheed, so much so that when the verses of in Medina was revealed, as we talk about do's and don'ts, they got completely no problem in implementing what was that Allah ordered us and prohibiting what Allah has prohibited them to do. And this is important because they understood Tawheed. That is why sometimes now people, a lot of Muslims have a lot of questions and a lot of, for example, trying to dilute Islam, like LGBT, right? It's like, it's okay to love each other and all this. And completely all this not in line with what Allah has said in the Quran. Yeah.
What's the definition of the word Tawheed?
Tawheed simply means oneness of God. And then you will ask, oneness in terms of what? Three things, right? We discussed before. Oneness in terms of
worship.
Rob first.
Yeah.
Rob means?
Lord. Rob means
Provider, creator, maintainer, sustainer, the one who guides, the one who protects. Yeah. All is under Rob. Yeah, and it's very important. Next one is Lordship in terms of worshipping. We only worship Allah.
Yes.
Third one is in the names and attributes of Allah. Right, only belongs to Allah. And this is important that we understand this completely. Have you read the book by Bilal Phillips? I forward to you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you do need to read at least one book. Because if you fail to understand this, you're finished. Right? Without realizing, you think that you are the one who accomplished all this. You are the one who feeds your family. You are the one who protects your children and your parents. You're not. It's not you. It's from our Rabb who does this. Because every day it doesn't make sense. You and I say Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. We use the word Rabbil Alamin, which means we acknowledge is Allah who is a protector, guides of everyone. Right? And yet we are doing things completely opposite. Yeah, so very important to understand this. And then after that comes the Madani surahs and verses that are usually involved in do's and don'ts. Yeah, that is why when, even as we discussed before many times, when Tawheed is in the heart, when Allah revealed the verses of alcohol, what is the most, or how many verses are there in alcohol? Was revealed in stages. The first stage was in Surah number 2, verse number 219, when Allah said about the alcohol, there's some form of benefits, some are harmful, but the harm overweighs the benefits. Second one, Surah number 4, verse number 43, was mentioned about do not approach the prayer in an intoxicated state. 443. The last one, the nail in the coffin, is Surah number 5, verse number 90 to 91, complete prohibition of alcohol. And when this was the last verse in 590 to 91 was revealed, some of them were in the middle of drinking. They put their hands in the mouth and they vomited out. They went to the cupboards and take all the alcohol, don't care whether it's expensive or vintage or whatever. They pour everything on the streets, and the whole street was like a river of alcohol because Tawheed was in the heart. There's no questions about it. When Allah said no, means no. It's no ifs, no buts, but no. And it's quite important as we call ourselves as a Muslim, which means complete submission to Allah. And it is a way of life, right? Don't make a mockery that our name is Muhammad, Ahmad, and then yet we don't understand what is halal and haram. And it's very important that we understand this. So Al Baqarah was revealed in Medina. It has many, many verses, including the most important verse in the Quran, which is Ayatul Kursi, right? Including, of course, it has verses of the Quran relating to many, many rules regarding divorce, regarding riba, regarding alcohol, many things. Yeah, in Surah Al Baqarah. And of course, the last 3 verses are important. What is the virtue of the last 3 verses of Al Baqarah? Or first, sorry, last 2 verses of Baqarah. What is the excellence? Aidan?
Will it suffice you or?
Yes, Prophet Muhammad said that if you read this, it's sufficient for us. Sufficient in terms of protection, in terms of in case we have no time to read the Quran, is sufficient to as be a guidance for us. Sufficient, right? So it is important that we understand completely the last 2 verses, but as an addition to understand the whole 2 verses, we need to add another verse, which is the third from the last, 2:8:4, right? To understand the whole thing. Yeah. Now, Al Baqarah. What is the excellence of Al Baqarah? Not intercede. Shade, right? Because on the day of judgment, as you know, the sun will be as near as 1 mile from your face, 1 mile, right? As it is now, it's coming to summer in Saudi Arabia, it can be about 50 degrees Celsius, right? And it's very hot. Yeah. Now, on the day of judgment, it's going to be 1 mile from the surface of the where you were, right? So this is important that we have shade. If there's no shade, as you know from hadith, people will be sweating. Some people sweat until the knees, some people sweat until the hips, some people sweat until the shoulder. The disbelievers will drown in the sweat. But a group of people will be shaded by Allah. One of them, for those who memorize Al Baqarah and Al Imran, they will become, as you said, like birds and clouds in the sky to shade them. But again, brothers, always remember, it's not just about blind memorization. Agreed? It's about to memorize and to implement, inshallah. Okay? What are the excellence of the Al Baqarah? Akram? What happened to Shaitan? Yes, it will be protected. The house is protected if you recite Al Baqarah. If you can't recite according to scholars, then switch on the your CD or your YouTube of Al Baqarah. Okay, what is it? Yeah, what the excellence of the Kursi? Except death. So if you enter Jannah, so just wait for the time to die, then you enter Jannah. Right? So this is Al Kursi to be recited after obligatory prayers. Yeah. Other than that, Al Kursi was excellence. Sorry?
One of the treasures from under throne or something.
No. It is protection. Yeah, protection from Shaitan. When do you recite this? For protection? No, after recite about the entering Jannah. Before you sleep. Yeah, if you have make wudu and recite the Kursi, what happened? An angel will be assigned to protect you. That means if you still cannot wake up for Fajr, what happened? Something must be wrong with the recitation. Either you don't understand it or it doesn't enter your heart. Once, yes. Yeah. You can if you want. Yeah, but I don't. It's quite tired right after that. Right. Other than that, Ayatul Kursi. So when you recite it again, morning and evening, it's called morning evening adhkar as protection. Sorry? Yeah, we discussed it now to enter Jannah, right? And also, do not have an innovation, as in your culture. No, hold on. The innovations of reciting Ayatul Kursi when you leave the house, your culture, of course, right? When you leave the house, right? It's not any sunnah to recite Ayatul Kursi. So don't do it. Unless once in a while you feel very scared, then you can recite. Never. No. You can do it. Sorry? Ruqya, yes. But you're talking about.
No, I'm saying, someone
No, you should ask the person to recite. You can recite for them, of course, to protect. Yeah, but it's better for them to recite themselves. Why scared? To either person. Yeah, you shouldn't, right? Because it's supposed to protect you, right? Okay. So this is about Al Baqarah in general, right? It is a heavy surah, heavy in terms of implementations. In the time of Prophet Muhammad SAW, there was a question. He asked the Sahaba, right? Who among you memorized Al Baqarah? Only one person, a youth, lifted up their hand. And the rest of them said, it's not that we do not want to memorize it, but because we found it difficult to implement the verses. So in those days, right, memorization means implementation. Not like today, memorization means I want to lead the prayer in this mosque, that mosque, and all this, right? And it's completely wrong. The attitude of the Quran is very different. Yeah, so make sure when we memorize the Quran, inshallah, it means that we want to implement the verses that we are reciting, inshallah. Yeah. Now, so let's look at your mobile phones. Turn to Surah number 2 in verse number 284. Right, try to have the translation of Musin Khan or Hilali. Right? They're the same. بسم الله لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله ويغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Now, what is hadith when you recite this? What will Allah answer the reciters of the last, the dua especially? Akram?
Is it that Allah is saying in response to the dua?
Rabbana la tu'akhidna in nasina aw akhtana. Ya Allah, forgive us if we forget or fall into error. What would Allah respond? Anybody heard the hadith? Allah, I have answered your dua, right? And it's very important. So when you recite this, or even when the Imam recite this at the end, you can say Ameen, because this is very important. For me personally, Al Baqarah was revealed in such a perfect manner. Why? Because of all the difficulties and the rulings for all of us to follow, the last three dua summarize everything, because we asking Allah, Ya Allah, do not punish us if you forget or fall into error. Right? And the second one, Ya Allah, do not impose us a burden which has imposed on the people before us. The last one, asking Allah, Ya Allah, do not impose us a burden which we cannot bear. Asking Allah for forgiveness and His mercy and all this. So, subhanAllah, after all the difficulties from Surah verse number 1 to verse number 283, right? Then Allah is teaching us to make dua to Allah, right? To ask for His forgiveness if any of these rulings that we cannot bear or we forgot or fall into error, asking Allah to forgive us. It's amazing, right? So how was this verse in 284? Can you read for me, Aidan, the meaning, please? 284.
To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is on the earth.
Louder a little bit.
To Allah belongs all that is in the heavens and all that is on the earth. And whether you disclose what is in your own selves or conceal it, Allah will call you to account for it. Then He forgives whom He wills and punishes whom He wills. And Allah is able to do all things.
Now, analyze what Allah was trying to say. It's an order, it's a command. Whatever things that, whether you are doing actions or is in your heart, everybody everybody, every action, even in the heart, will be kept into account. Right? So, for example, in a very gross way, woman is our weakness, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody passed by from you, in your heart, there's all these desires and all this. That will be kept into account with this revelation, right? And this is important. And the Sahaba, right? When it was revealed, what happened? They were very shocked. And they said, we can control our actions, but what is in our hearts, we can never control. And they almost did not want to obey this. So what did Prophet Muhammad say? So they were very reluctant because they were complaining, this is such a difficult verse. Right? Because in the heart, so many things in the heart perhaps, right? Talking about this person, that person, that person, so many things. You want to have revenge on this person, you want to do bad things with this person, everything's in the heart. Right? So they were very reluctant to obey Allah. So what did the Prophet say? No, before that. Do you want to be like the children of Israel? That when verses were revealed, they disobeyed completely. They were literally being scolded by Prophet ﷺ. Because that was what they were, right? Everything that was revealed to them, they disobeyed. Right? In fact, they say, Sami'na wa asayna. We hear and we disobey. Everything became distorted. Yeah? So the companions, right? They listened to the advice of Prophet ﷺ, and then they say to themselves, whatever it is, we're going to obey. When they say this, then the next verse was revealed. Can you recite the meaning, please?
The messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, believes in what was sent down to him from his Lord, and so do the believers. Each one believes in Allah, His angels, His books, and His messengers. They say, we make no distinction between one another of His messengers. And they say, we hear and we obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Lord, and to you is the return of all.
Yeah, so only when they say to themselves, we are going to obey whatever Allah has revealed, then the next verse was revealed. Right? That means whatever it is that Allah revealed, we need to say, Sami'na wa ata'na. Right? That means we hear and we obey. Yep. Aidan, when you first become Muslim, take Shahada, right? Alhamdulillah. Was it difficult to imagine, oh, I have to wake up in the morning, I have to pray 5 times a day, which is quite a lot, a big task. How did you feel when you became Muslim? Did you think that you can achieve all this?
There was so much going on. I didn't consider it was hard or easy. I just kind of did it. Even like old bad habits were okay, but the 5 a day, that was, it took me a couple months to start. So
Okay, to establish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is important, right? For all of us to understand. Everybody has a different level of iman. Agree?
Yeah.
And some months or some days our iman is so low, right? To wake up in the morning, Fajr now is about what, 3:20?
Yeah, 320.
Right? And it is difficult for some people, right? But brothers, like it or not, this is an obligation from Allah. What did Allah say about the salah? Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. Which surah number? I think 4, verse number 103, right? That Allah said that prayer has been enjoined onto the believers at fixed hours. It's not up to you and me to fix that hours. It has been fixed, right? According to what Allah said in the Quran and to Prophet Muhammad. So the deadline, normally, you can pray as long as the next prayer is not over yet. It doesn't count. That means for Asr time, as long as it's before Asr, I can pray my Dhuhr, inshallah. But that does not apply for Fajr. Fajr's cut-off point is sunrise. As simple as that. Yes, technically.
But the sun is to do it
Before
at the time.
sunrise. of course, it's better to do in the mosque, inshallah, and early. Sorry? Yes, yeah, but don't time it. Alarm clock, right? 3. So, yeah, because this sounds like hypocrite, right? This is hypocrites do. Yeah. So hypocrites always do a last minute, and they only pray to show off to the rest of the people. Yeah. So, and this is the first thing. Fajr, there's a cutoff line. Isha, this is a cutoff line. What time is it supposed to pray?
Midnight.
Before 12, in general. Before 12, in general. That is the cutoff line. It is, but most scholars would say that it is a cutoff point of before 12. Right? But if we cannot, of course, once in a while, it's not a sin to pray after 12. Right? As long as before Fajr. But in general, it's better to have a cutoff point of 12 midnight. Always be careful. There's always this Isha, yes. Right? Why there's a cutoff point? Because to prevent ourselves from oversleeping. I will sleep all the way until Fajr, right? In general, if there's no cutoff point, because it's quite tiring, right? We have to go to the mosque for Isha prayer in the middle of summer is about 11 o'clock. Some mosques 11:30 to pray.
So it's not say Asr is at like 3 o'clock, but then they do it.
That sounds like 3 o'clock.
I'm not saying why is it that mosques pray like 1 or 2 hours late?
This is
There's
Hanafi.
reasoning behind it.
This is your thing, right? Because it's not nothing wrong, because they're just following an opinion that you know the spear,
Yeah.
for the spear, right? According to the shadow for the Hanafi is too length. So the sun should be a bit lower, whereas most of the people will be a bit higher, not too length of the spear of the shadows.
Pretty much most mosques that I go to, like say Dhuhr is at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, because they're trying to make it easy for people who are working to pray in Jama'ah.
That's why.
Yes, for the convenience of the Jama'ah in
There's a
general.
reason behind it.
Yeah. Okay. But of course, my mosque for Fajr, they are making a nicky of it. They're praying at 4:30, for example. It's really annoying, right? So some people are overstretching the Hanafi principles to make it according to their own community, which is wrong, of course, right? Yes. Yeah, once in a while, because sometimes you got your own personal needs to pray, right? Because the other time, for example, on Saturday, right, my talk finishes about what time? About 5 o'clock, and then the Isha was about 6:15, 6:30, right? Sorry, 6:15, 6:15, right? So we jump to the Salafi mosque next door, we prayed earlier to get, because we have to go somewhere else and all this. Okay?
I heard said if you're in a mosque and hear adhan and it's impermissible to leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't say impermissible, but it's macro. It's dislike to leave. To leave, you need to join. Even though you have prayed your prayer, you can just pray your sunnah prayer, according to many scholars, right? So that's why for me on that day, right, quickly I need to leave the mosque before the adhan starts in order to, yes, because
What does Hanafi mean?
there's four main imams that has the school of thoughts, right? Shafi'i, Hanafi, Hanbali, and Maliki. Right? This I think you know later, inshallah. Okay. Yes.
You know, praying the sunnah prayers, the mosque is that makruh? So you're not praying.
Not makruh, but it's better sunnah to pray at home. Sunnah means get more reward. Yeah. Now, not only that, what is the advantages of following the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? You gain Allah's love and forgiveness. Surah number 3, verse number 31. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Say, O Muhammad to mankind, if you love Allah, then follow me. Then Allah, if you follow me, Allah will love you and forgive you of your sins. Right? So if you want to follow Sunnah, and that means you will get inshallah Allah's love and forgiveness, then pray at home, for example.
That's what I'm saying, because I was with my friend and I was asking him why that is, and he said, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, don't make your house like a grave.
Yes, it's true. right? Okay, let's continue with the talk, right? So this verse was revealed when all the Sahaba, this verse says in verse Surah number 2, verse number 25, yeah, when all the Sahaba agreed to obey Allah, then this verse was revealed, right? All of the believer must say, you'll be able to do it. That's why I asked you the questions, Aidan, regarding your prayer. Eventually, Allah make it easy for you, right? To do the prayers and all this. Even you do tahajjud, right? Especially in the retreat. We went for 3 nights. There you pray tahajjud every night. The retreat, alhamdulillah, right? Charlie, did you find difficult to obey Allah in the beginning, in terms of salah, in terms of eating, and all this? What is the most difficult? Women. Not woman. Okay. Is it hard for you because of the delicious non-halal meat that gets to, or because of yeah. So what to say, right, is Allah will make it easy for us in the long run, right? So don't, for example, you're learning the Quran, right? Easy for you. You start from Avatar, right? You're in book number 5 now, 6, 5, right? It's becoming easier now, right? Because before that, how can I read this? So difficult, right? Alhamdulillah. So it's all about practice, and of course, asking Allah to help and to be patient. Yeah. So it is important, right? But however, Allah then revealed the last verse to eliminate or to cancel the 284. Yeah, what is the last verse meaning? 286. I did.
For me.
Yes, waiting for you.
Sorry. Allah burdens not a person beyond his scope. He gets reward for that good which he has earned, and he is punished for that evil which he has earned.
Okay, stop there first, right? So this is it. What was 284? Whatever that is in your heart, you'll be accountable for.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether you put into action or not, you will be accountable whatever is in your heart.
What do you mean in your heart? Do you mean like what you think?
Yes, what you think. Everything is accountable.
What about in the
That was hold on. That was why the Sahaba couldn't take it in the beginning. Right? That is why, in order to relieve us of this burden, because the Sahaba has already said, whatever things Allah said, we will obey. Correct?
Yeah.
Then Allah relieves this burden by revealing the last verse. Because what did Allah say? But Allah will not burden a person beyond the scope. He will get reward only for the things that he did, not in the mind, and he will get punishment only to what the things that he did. So not in the mind. Understand? So because of this, the 284 has been cancelled or abrogated, or in Arabic, nanskh. That means it has completely been cancelled. So imagine, brothers, if you completely have no knowledge of the Quran and you read this, that means you will think that in your heart, in your mind, whatever things that is occurring there, you will be accountable, which is wrong. So knowledge is very important. Yeah. Yes. No, because it's been cancelled by this. Because 286 said, Allah said, right? You will get punished according to what you have earned, and you will get rewarded according to what you have earned. So it's all about actions. Also, in another hadith, what did Prophet Muhammad say about minds and intention and all this? If you intend to do a good deed and you did not do the good deed,
You still get reward
you get the reward for the deed, right? If you intend to do a good deed and you did do good deed, you get
10 times.
10 to 700 times. If you intend to do a good deed, this is a bad intention really, sorry, a bad deed, but you did not do the bad deed, you get one reward. If you intend to do a bad deed and you did do the bad deed, you get the sin of that sin only, not multiplied by 10 to 700 times. So technically, it's all about actions, not about if your intention is not put into practice, you're not accountable. So if somebody is LGBT, for example, right, but it's not put into practice, he won't be accountable for what is in his heart. As simple as that. Is it fair? Of course. Yeah. Because hold on, because he did not want to put into actions because of his fear of Allah. Right? And that's why he got all this, inshallah, the rewards for, because all of us are having this thing called struggle with our weakness, right? That's why we did this kind of jihad, which is of the nafs, struggle with our desires, so that we are able to please Allah. Some people are maybe womanizer, correct? Aiman? Some people like women. That means they are completely, right, chasing women. Right? Some people are alcoholic, literally. Some people are serial gambler now, especially with the social media and all this online. It's easy to gamble, right? People are losing money a lot. Yeah, and these are actually real problems. Even in the time Prophet Muhammad, one of the Sahaba was a complete alcoholic. What was the name? One of these person who was really always drinking a lot of alcohol, and even the Sahaba was always cursing him. And Prophet Muhammad said, "Do not curse this person because he loves Allah." Yeah, he was he was like a joker. He's always I can't remember what's his name. No, I can't remember his name. He always jokes, right? All his funny stories. He always create jokes. And I think he was also a drinker. Sorry. Yeah, prankster. Yes. He was always prank. So one of the jokes was this, right? So okay, never mind. Let me think about it. And one day I will talk about the stories of the Sahaba, inshallah, so that all of us understand. Can you imagine, brothers? Sorry.
Sorry, was he the one that slaughtered the camel of one of the Sahaba?
Yes, he is. Right.
Okay, fair enough.
There's I think 3 or 4 stories around that. Right?
That's one.
Yes. I think it's Ayman, right? Something. No, Ayman. Something like that, right? The name is familiar. Yeah. Brothers, imagine if we were into Jannah al-Firdaus, inshallah. You were introduced to the Sahaba, inshallah. You don't even know who they are. It's quite sad, isn't it true? You know about David Beckham, you know about, I don't know, Beyonce, right? You know about all these celebrities. But we're talking about the Sahaba, right? We have no clue, right? Who's Ayman, yeah? Who is all the Sahaba that was important in the establishment of Islam, right? And then it's quite embarrassing that we do not know who they are. And then, they did so much for Islam. We met them personally. We do not know who they are, right? So it is important for us to be reacquainted, inshallah, with the Sahaba, whom, inshallah, we are going to meet in Jannatul Firdaus. It's very important. Yeah. Now, so in relation to this, it is important to understand that some verses in the Quran are cancelled, right, abrogated, in order for Allah to ease our affairs. Yeah, because Allah knows our weaknesses. Yes.
Is it fair to say cancel? Might be saying that.
Not contradict. That's why we need to have knowledge of the Quran. Right? All the verses, of course, is from Allah, right? But in the sense that Allah, at that point of time, so for example, right, if you were to read the verses of alcohol, yeah, in which, let's put the second one, Surah number 4 and 43, Allah said, "Do not approach the prayer in an intoxicated state." What is your view on this? If you just read that verse, do not approach prayer in an intoxicated state. Okay, that means you can drink alcohol, but when you pray, don't drink. Isn't it true? As simple as that. But don't drink at all when you pray. But other than that, you can drink. It's the implication. Don't contradict. But
when you say cancel, it sounds like
he abrogated. Similar.
Changed.
So it's changed because in later verses should be used in place of this. And because that's why the knowledge of the Quran is quite important, and to put the knowledge into context in this verse. Right, so when Allah said in the Quran, kill all the disbelievers, it's not in any context, but in terms of that war.
Yeah.
And it's important not to misuse this. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So it is very important that we have a bit of knowledge regarding the context of these verses, not to use it all the time. So, for example, look at Surah number 2, verse number 62. 262. Nihil, is it true? Your name? Is it Nihil? Nihil. How do you spell it?
Nikhil.
How do you pronounce it?
Nikhil.
Nikhil. Okay. Can you read for me?
262, right?
Yeah, since your voice got loud.
Those who spend their wealth for Allah.
No, it's not. 2, Surah number 2, verse number 62.
Oh, so I wrote 260. Give me a moment, guys.
Surah Al Baqarah, verse number 62.
Yeah. I wrote 262.
Yes.
The believers, the Jews, the Christians, and the Sabians, all those who believe in Allah and the last day and do good deeds will be rewarded by their Lord. They shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve.
Okay, so what do you understand about this? You just read at this without understanding. Yes, the Jews and the Christians, right? But of course, it's not as it is, because you need to put in proper context. Because how can the Christians today, as all the Christians and Jews today are under the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yeah? How can they be entering Jannah? It's impossible. Yes.
It's talking about the Christians at the time of
Isa alayhi salam. Yes.
before they changed.
Yes. And it's very important, right, to understand it. So again, understanding about the abrogations of the ayah is very important, because you do not want to misuse or misunderstood or misinterpret what Allah said in the Quran. Okay. Now, questions? Then Allah, and this is how I encourage all of you to memorize these 3 dua. It's very, very important. Yeah? What is the meaning of the dua? Last verse, Al Baqarah. Can you memorize it?
Oh yeah. I put the last one.
Last verse.
I got the last one.
He's fasting. He's low blood sugar.
So the brother is not a person beyond his scope. He gets more for that which he has earned. He is punished for that he has earned. All the times he made on those before us, our Lord, put not on us a burden greater than we have the strength to bear. Have mercy on us, Lord, our patrons, etc. You are our Mawla, and give us you.
Not to punish us if we forget or you fall into error. Asking Allah not to put us a burden like He has done to the people before, the Jews and the Christians. Last one, asking Allah not to overburden us the things that we cannot bear. Because all of us, rather, some of us, 15 of us, for example, we have different strength. Some people are very generous, but perhaps not very good in the prayer. Some people are very good in the prayer, perhaps not good in memorizing the Quran. Some people are very good in this, not good in that. Yeah? So the dua is very important, inshallah, for all of us to memorize. Yeah? Where was the last verse revealed? Arafat. No, this verse is the verse Al Baqarah. Which battle? Which battles? No, it's not.
What was the first battle? Was it Battle of Badr?
Yeah, but we're not talking about battle, right? My question was focus. Well, see, Ivan, you distract him.
Yeah, it's like
First battle was Badr. Yes. So what was the where was this revealed? In the skies. This is Mi'raj, right? In the above the seven heavens, and three things were revealed. We discussed many times. Salah, reduced from 50 to 5. Last one, next one. This verse of Baqarah. Next one. Allah's promise of what? That you not do anything with Allah, He will not punish us. It's a deal, is it true? Punish if you don't commit shirk, He will not punish us. Mubin, is it easy or difficult in your culture? In your culture, in Sylhet, many villages have 3 shrines. Do you agree? A lot of shrines. Why? I know, but is it a lot of people doing that? So how many? What is the population of Bangladesh?
150 million.
Quite a lot, right? I think quite a lot. Really? Pakistan? Are there a lot of shirk in Pakistan? Have you been back to Pakistan? A lot of shirk, for example.
Where I'm from,
Pakistan.
if you don't celebrate the Prophet's birthday, I think you're ready.
Okay.
That's what my mom taught me.
Yeah. That's bid'ah, but other than shirk, other than
Shirk,
graves,
grave worship.
worshipping, yes,
Yeah,
it's got common.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of like, you know, when someone dies and like, ask that person, so ask the person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's
Yeah. Right. So all your star signs, Aries. Basil, what is your sign? Sorry? It's your star sign, right? In those days, I'm sure you know people will read your days. Oh, this is long life. You got 2 wives. You got only, you know, and
They
all
still do
this
today.
prosperous life. Sorry.
They still do.
Yes, they do, yes, of course. Oh, is it today? I don't know. When I was small, people doing this, and seemingly a joke. But subhanallah, it's a huge thing. Besides the mountain issues. And
So there is like a meaning that the people that do see that they look for children,
Ah.
and that's how they open like treasures. So that's so
Okay.
they find children that have like a certain thing in their hand.
That's okay.
My dad had it. So his mom used to tell him when someone asks you for sweets, so almost often sweets don't give in their hand.
Yes.
These spots are like treasures, so people don't take them.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
basically they put it in the thing so that it don't go away.
Cat whose neck?
Huh?
Cat whose neck?
The child's neck.
Oh, subhanallah.
With the thing in the hand.
Okay. Is it common?
In Morocco now too.
Okay.
You might be right. You know, huh?
Syrian culture? Shirk. What are the things that is common? Oh, well, you know your culture. I know my culture is shirk. I know, but what is yours? You're protected, alhamdulillah. Now, so, sorry? I don't know, you guys always worship the shrines, right? Sometimes. Common, yeah. Because even I went to Palestine and all this. There is these, you know, the tombs of the prophets and all this. They put coins and all this. They will throw coins. Yeah, in Palestine and in Jordan. Sorry. Yes, it's a lot.
Turkey, they have that.
Evil eyes, all this kind of thing. So, brothers, Allah's promise is very straightforward. If you do not associate anything with Allah, what was his promise? No punishment at all. Very simple. And yet you can see why I'm always picking on the cultures, because everything happens with culture, right? It is one of the things that destroys the deen. Yeah, of course, there's some things that are good, but many things are actually destroying the deen. And it's very important to differentiate culture and Islam. Yes. Sorry? Depends, yes, of course. Depends on whether you have debt, you have whatever this, you have this others. But in general, right, we know that when Allah promised, He will never break a promise. Right? What is the last verse of that was revealed? No, what is the last verse in Surah Al Baqarah? In the second part, فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّهِ فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. Whoever hopes for the meeting with his Rabb, two things, right? That they must work righteousness, right? That they must do good deeds. Secondly, and they do not associate anything with Allah, no shirk. And very simple criteria, but my question went to all of you from different countries. It's difficult to achieve, great, but whatever. No, that's why I asked the question: what happened in Morocco? What happened in Syria? What happened in Pakistan? Every culture has a problem with shirk. Every problem, and it's a real problem. It's not getting better. And then yet we are wondering why Allah is not helping the Palestinian issues and all this. What did Allah say? Allah will not change the conditions of the people
if they don't change
if they change conditions themselves. Yeah, which surah? 13, verse number?
14.
11.
Okay, that's close.
Right, in the middle part. Right, so we have to change conditions ourselves. Right, that is why a lot of problems happen in Muslim countries. Right, in terms of even poverty, in terms of corruptions, in terms of killings one another, all in Muslim countries in general. Right, so we do need to look at ourselves and change. Right? As very clearly, yeah, Allah informed us in many verses of the Quran that if any one of us are committing shirk, what happened? It is an unforgivable sin. Allah can forgive anything else, but if you die in that state, you are finished.
Does it also mean that you leave the fold of Islam as well?
Yes. Yeah, so there are two kinds of shirk, as you know, major and minor. We discussed before whether major and minor, both of them may lead to hellfire. It's just a matter of whether one is that minor shirk, inshallah, is temporary, major is forever. There's no such thing as not rising in shirk. No, because that seeking knowledge is very important. It is, but okay, this is my answer to you, right? Allah said in the Quran, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. The prayer will prevent immoralities and disobedience to Allah, including shirk, of course. Is this Allah's promise? Yes. So if we are still committing shirk, for example, and we are praying, and we claim we pray, what does it mean? Something must be wrong with our salah. How can it be if we are asking Allah sincerely, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, and then Allah do not answer our dua? Something must be wrong with us, with how we say it or how we look at things, that somehow Allah do not wish to grant us guidance. In Surah number 47, verse number 17, yeah, Allah said in the meaning, right? And those of you who are seeking guidance, Allah will increase the guidance and will grant them taqwa, or God consciousness. If we are sincerely seeking for guidance, Allah will guide us, surely, and increase the guidance and grant us to be God conscious. Right? Guidance and God conscious or taqwa, it goes hand in hand. You cannot say you have taqwa and then not guided. Of course, none of us are perfect. We will forget. Right? We will do many sins. Right? That's why we have Allah's beautiful names of Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, At-Tawwab, Al-Ghaffar, Al-Ghafur, right? All this as a means to ask Allah for forgiveness. Yeah? So, homework. Next week, inshallah, everybody must memorize the 3 dua, inshallah. Surah Al Baqarah, yeah, the last verse. The 3 dua, very important. Right? Inshallah. The 3 dua, right? It's important to memorize, inshallah, and make dua to Allah. we have. You're not Indian, inshallah. You need to go for some test. So, any questions before we end, inshallah?
What were the three du'as again?
Yeah. First of all, what's the first dua, Akram? And the meaning? Do not punish us. We fall into error or we forget. Ya Allah, do not impose us a burden which you impose to those people before us, the Christians and the Jews. The next one, Ya Allah, do not impose more than we can bear. Impose our burden more than we can bear, right? And asking Allah for forgiveness, mercy, and all this, right? And the last one, very important. What's the last one? Last page. Fansurna ala qawmil kafirin. Very important, especially in today's climate of Palestine and all this. Asking Allah to defeat the disbelievers who has been killing all the Muslims, and also not just Muslims, right? The Christians in Palestine. Okay. Questions? Salam. We're going to end, no? Any questions? Tomorrow there are two talks, right? AICC at 5:15 to Asar time, 6:15, right? And then we go to the Seekers of Knowledge. I'm giving a talk there in Kilburn from 7 to 8:30, inshallah. All right. So do come, inshallah. Ayman, again, come tomorrow, inshallah. Yes. And Seekers of Knowledge, inshallah. Until? Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Sorry? Second one is in Kilburn. Seekers of Knowledge is about 7 to 8:30, inshallah. Do come, inshallah, right? It benefits us, inshallah, in the long run. No, not Kilburn Mosque. Next to it. Near it, but 5 minutes walk from the Kilburn Mosque, inshallah. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. Any questions, brothers? Now, what last one before we end? What did the Sahaba do after Ramadan? To? Yes, asking Allah to accept our deeds in Ramadan. Very important. Right? For the 6 months after Ramadan, they all made dua to Allah accept all the deeds in Ramadan. Then after that, before 5 or 6 months before next Ramadan, they asked Allah to allow them to meet Ramadan. Right? So do follow the steps of Sahaba, yeah, so that we are able to get the maximum reward, inshallah. Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us in the right path, guide our family members in the right path. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help our brothers who are suffering in Palestine, in Yemen, in Syria, in all parts of the world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala jannatul firdaus. Subhanaka wa bihamdika la ilaha illa anta wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakumullah khair. We'll see each other tomorrow, inshallah. Yeah. Sorry, on Saturday our class is at 2 o'clock, inshallah. Not 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Right, in room number 2, inshallah, right? Inshallah.
Here, right?
Room number 2, inshallah. Yeah.
Is everyone going to
Sorry?
China Masjid?